Welcome to Signature TV News. I'm Charles Pius. First, the headlines. Organized labor calls off one-day warning strike. Heritage Bank customers cry out over bank liquidation. On the foreign scene, Thai most wanted fugitive arrested in Indonesia's Bali. In sports, Versrev relieved after escaping against ruin at French Open. Now the news in detail. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, have suspended their one-day-old industrial action called to press their demand for a new minimum wage. The suspension followed consultations among Labour leadership after their meeting with federal government representatives Monday night. TUC President Festus Osifo, while confirming this in Abuja on Tuesday after a joint extraordinary National Executive Council meeting of the union, said they approved to relax the industrial action for 1 week with immediate effect. Earlier today in Enugu, government workers and labor union members had all prepared themselves to comply with the union's decision to continue with the strike action until the call to cancel the strike for 1 week was made. Signature TV correspondent David Okoro, who monitored the situation in Enugu, tells us more.
The nationwide strike has continued as government parastatals are in total compliance, maintaining that the union decision is for the public best interest and should be given a listening ear by the federal government. Currently, at about 9 a.m. at the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, the situation was still the same as witnessed yesterday. The main entrance to the airport was barricaded by armed military men, not allowing anyone as well as vehicle in. Same situation was witnessed at the state and federal secretariats as the premises were deserted in total compliance of maintaining the union decisions. Some of the labor union at the airport expressed disappointment over federal government not yielding to the minimum wage as well as other proposals made recently by the Nigerian Labour Congress.
NLC TUC, they're not talking only about minimum wage. We're talking about electricity tariff. It has to be reversed. And then categorizing Nigerian citizens, that is discrimination. That is discriminatory. So we want the total dissolution, removal of bands, band A, band Z, band whatever, to be removed.
The meeting is still ongoing. They've not concluded. The federal government says that they are committed to listen to what Labour is saying.
This is going on in the country, nationally, because we are tired of the crayfish and pepper bargain with the federal government.
The organized labor began their industrial action to press home their demand for new salary structure. In Enugu, David Okoro for Signature TV News.
However, residents in Enugu have expressed displeasure following the effects of the strike action.
Adverse effects on my day-to-day activities because there's no light to charge my phone or my laptop. I'm currently in my finals and I'm doing my project, which requires my laptop to actively be functioning. If there's no light to charge it, it's going to delay my submission, which might affect my graduation. In the long term, this lack of light and lack of movement and transport is actually bad for like the rest of us. But if NSC feels that they're trying to achieve something that's to the merit of the rest of us, then I hope that they succeed. But I'd like my NEPA back, please.
Actually have affected me in many ways. No light since yesterday. Even our driving of this keke is not moving like used to be before. So since morning I have been running around, no passenger. Actually, I support labor. Because Nigeria have the money to pay. So they should pay that money.
Please, they should just help us because we students, our exam is starting next week. So like if we don't have lights, there's no diesel, nothing. We cannot read, we cannot do anything.
Human rights lawyer Femi Falana has called on the Attorney General of the Federation to sanction states that fail to pay the current 30,000 naira minimum wage. It says since the payment of the minimum wage is an agreement entered into freely, state governments unable to honor such a deal are breaching the law. Falana said the federal government and the Attorney General of the country has a duty to drag any state government that does not pay to court. Speaking on Tuesday, he noted that with the demand by organized labor for a new minimum wage, once a new agreement is met and a new minimum wage becomes the law of the country, the government must ensure its full implementation. Since the removal of the fuel subsidy and the floating of the naira, calls for a new minimum wage have reached new highs as the cost of living skyrocketed in the country. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, has assured the general public and airline operators that the ongoing strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has not affected the Nigerian airspace. NAMA Director, Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Abdullahi Musa, in a statement in Lagos on Tuesday, revealed that operations of the agency remain uninterrupted as contingency arrangements have been put in place for processing of flight operations in 5 major airports in Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, Abuja and Enugu. He said NAMA would continue to provide its services to airline operators in spite of the ongoing strike action, in keeping with its mandate to provide uninterrupted, safe, efficient and economic air navigation services in the country. Still to come on the news, Heritage Bank customers cry out over bank liquidation. Sai, most wanted fugitive, arrested in Indonesia's Bali. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Signature TV News. As the recent revocation of Heritage Bank's operating license by the Central Bank of Nigeria continues to attract reactions, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has called for immediate action to protect depositors and maintain confidence in the banking system. Obi on Monday acknowledged the regulator's affirmation that the revocation was necessary to enhance financial stability, but emphasized the far-reaching impact it will have on Heritage Bank depositors. Citing the harsh economic realities facing the country, Obi urged the federal government through the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation to ensure the immediate payment of all depositors in full. He highlighted the plight of individual savers and small and medium-scale enterprises, SMEs, who are already contending with the severe economic hardships and depend on their savings in his now liquidated bank for survival. Obi warned that any attempt to deny or delay payments to these depositors could worsen their economic woes and lead to a crisis of confidence in the banking system. The CBN had on Monday revoked Heritage Bank's operating license and subsequently appointed NDIC to liquidate its assets. CBN's acting director of Corporate Communications Department, CD Ali, the decision was made due to the bank's failure to improve its financial performance, posing a threat to financial stability. In the same vein, residents of Enugu who are customers of Heritage Bank are lamenting over the hardships they are encountering due to CBN's decision to liquidate Heritage Bank. Signature TV correspondent Chinemere Ikebunam has the report.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, in accordance with the mandate to promote a sound financial system and exercise its power under Section 12 of the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020, has revoked the license of Heritage Bank PLC, effective June 2024. This decision has sparked significant controversy among Heritage Bank staff and customers who are now being denied access to the bank. The revocation of the Heritage Bank's license did not come as a surprise to some customers. Nwamaka Akwekwe and Ifeanyichukwu Aguibu revealed that the bank had been operating in a manner that raised concerns.
Since 3 months, I used their ATM to withdraw money. When I had a burial, I cannot withdraw anything. And I was telling them they were giving us 10,000, 5,000. It's yesterday that I heard the news that the bank is liquidating and they have revoked the license. I now went to Ogui Road. They could not allow us to come in. We only read the paper they pasted on the wall. So nobody there to address us. We do respect whoever it concerns. We would like to have our money because school fees, even myself, I have my paper today. My children are in the school being scared out.
What really happened today at this Heritage Bank is a surprise to me. Nobody was really informed about the very thing. It was online yesterday. That just like when I opened my phone yesterday in the morning, I just saw a flash news. CBN has revoked Heritage Bank license, and I felt maybe like unlike what the CBN has been telling us all this while, that no bank will ever liquidate based on the capital base of each bank with them. So even when those things were happening, we thought like maybe they'll be merging. Maybe other banks will merge with them. But coming here today, all we saw that this has been liquidated. And customers are here, depositors are here crying for their money. And nobody, some of us are hungry. We do not have money again. Because we felt that bank should be a place where somebody's money should be saved.
Some pensioners banking with the Heritage Bank are pleading for the federal government to come to their rescue.
My pensioner, I come to them, but no anybody answer me. Huh? I then be old man. Huh? You know good. That's why I come. He say make I go back. Tomorrow I come. Where the money where they take on come? This bank hold me money, and then my money they come for this bank from Abuja, National Population, NPC.
Here I know what do with even the bank customer. Now I be na Heritage Bank at Tinubu. I know here I know the bank inflow do. And then I know that you want 5,000, I know that you want 10,000. Probably family name will account in a bank also. Can you want game? Even I wouldn't be more with them. Can they could not know after some years? Naga Pochani. I wouldn't be more, but I'm with the information. Then we go operation. Then the bank will go operate because I believe me more on a local area.
While questions arise from customers regarding the bank license revocation, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation (NDIC) has outlined steps to ensure depositors receive their funds. The NDIC assured depositors they will be paid up to 5 million using their bank verification number, BVN, to identify their alternate accounts within the banking industry. Chinemerem Ikebunam for Signature TV News.
Former President of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, has charged the nation's judiciary to be bold and courageous in deciding matters in court, especially election petitions. Jonathan was speaking while commissioning Delta State's High Court's complex at Asaba on Tuesday. Signature TV News correspondent Ndu Waleze was in Asaba and brought in these reports.
The former president said if the judiciary is forthright, half of those who failed elections would not dare approach the court, knowing that they would not obtain the true verdict. According to him, half of those that go to court to do so because the election umpire is not to be trusted entirely. He regretted the time and material resources wasted in court processes for election.
This is a part of the 1-year anniversary program, and I have to commend you principally for your focus in terms of infrastructural development in this state and your commitment to continue with projects and programs of previous administration. In some cases, when people take over power, they tend to abandon projects initiated by the previous government. And when you do that, you push the state backward because public funds were invested in those projects. And it's better, yes, you can audit the project. If there are some of personal interest to the previous administration, you can suspend them a little. But there are some that are very fundamental to the growth and development of the state. You expect anybody who takes over government to continue. And you are doing exactly that. From the history of the project given by the Chief Judge of the state and you, this project started in 1991. And you are the one who has crowned it. Congratulations.
The former president commended the Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborowori for completing projects unfinished by his predecessors, adding that such saved the nation and state resources that would have gone down the drains. In his speech, Governor Sheriff Oborowori said the completion of the 25-year High Court Complex project was in fulfillment of his promise on not abandoning good jobs started before his mounting of the saddle. Governor Oborowori also stated the need to strengthen the judiciary and announced a donation of 20 Prado jeeps to judges of the Delta State Judiciary.
In 2014, under the leadership of former Governor Emmanuel Iweta Odwanga, the project was revived and construction began in earnest. The immediate past governor, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, accelerated work on the building. When I assumed office on May 29, 2023, the building was at an advanced stage of completion, excluding furnishing. In line with my promise to complete all ongoing projects inherited from the immediate past administration, I took this project as one of my priorities.
Chief Judge of Delta State, Justice Stacy Dia, had earlier commended the governor for his support to the judiciary and promised to put the edifice into good use. The complex has 5 floors, 6 courtrooms, conference halls, among other modern facilities.
The National Bar Association, NBA, has invited the 16th Fulani Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II, to their annual conference that was held at Amani Event Center, Kano. The event had in attendance the President of the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, Justice Benedict Bakwaf Kanyib, NBA President Yakubu Maikel, SAN Chief Judge of Kano State, Justice DJ Aboki, and other legal luminaries. The invitation extended to Muhammadu Sanusi II served as a recognition of him by the NBA as the 16th Emir of Kano State, and to also render his royal blessing and address the participants. The monarch, who also spoke, said the theme of the conference, Administration of Justice in Nigeria, Challenges and Reforms, was apt, as it was only when there is justice in the land that society can have peace, which is a prerequisite for progress and development. The governor, represented at the conference by the Secretary to the State Government, SSG Abdullahi Babba Bichi, told the legal practitioners to always tell their clients the truth when they bring a bad case, even when the truth is bitter, rather than insisting on satisfying their clients by carrying out what is not within the ambit of the law. He also said it was a good opportunity to challenge the NBA members on the conflicting court orders given on the Kano Emirate tussle when the case is purely a state affair. The Nigerian police force has expressed concern over reports of alleged extortion of unethical conduct surrounding the ongoing promotion interviews for inspectors aspiring to the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police. Reports alleges that some senior officers were demanding 30,000 naira before granting promotional interviews to junior officers. The Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumiyiwa Adejobi, stated that such behavior undermines the core values of the institution and will not be tolerated. Adejobi also said the Inspector General of Police, IG Kayode Egbetokun, strongly condemns any form of corruption in the promotion process and urged all officers to report any instances of misconduct promptly and directly to his office. The force reiterated its commitments to maintaining transparency and accountability throughout the promotion protocols and called on all officers to uphold ethical standards to safeguard its integrity and credibility. More in the news. Mediator Qatar urges clear positions for Gaza ceasefire. Verev relieved after escaping against ruin at French Open. Don't go away. Welcome back. On the foreign scene, South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol on Tuesday says the country will step up cooperation with African nations to secure a stable supply of critical minerals and speed up negotiations to promote economic partnerships and trade. Hosting the first ever summit with the leaders of 48 African countries, Yoon said South Korea will increase development aid for Africa to $10 billion over the next 6 years as it looks to tap into the continent's rich mineral resources and potential as a vast export market. Yun also pledged to offer $14 billion in export financing to promote trade and investments for South Korean companies in African countries. At least 30 heads of state are attending the summit, with delegations from 48 countries participating. Yun and the chair of the African Union, Mauritania President Mohamed Al Ghazouani, are due to issue a joint statement, Yun's office say. Qatar, which has been mediating on Gaza between Israel and Hamas, insists that there should be a clear position from both parties to reach a ceasefire deal. Qatar said that it is still waiting to reach language that is agreed by both parties. The Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesperson Majid Al-Ansari says they are waiting for a clear Israeli position that represents the entire government in response to the U.S.'s Gaza proposal. Al-Ansari said the ceasefire deal will immediately end the long suffering of all people in Gaza and the hostages and their families, and provide a roadmap for a permanent ceasefire, putting an end to the crisis. U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday said or laid out a three-phase ceasefire proposal from Israel to Palestinian Islamist group Hamas to end the war in Gaza that has killed tens of thousands and caused a humanitarian crisis. The offer calls for a ceasefire, the release of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners, and the reconstruction of Gaza. Indonesian authorities are expected to deport a Thai fugitive dubbed as the nation's most wanted on Tuesday after arresting him in the resort island of Bali late last month. According to authorities, Chaiwolit Thong Duang, who had been hiding in Indonesia for 7 months, was involved in a drug trafficking ring based in Myanmar, murder of police officers and shooting of court members in Thailand. Reports say Thong Duang entered Indonesia via sea routes on a speedboat to North Sumatra using a fake identity. He posed as an Indonesian man named Suleiman, aided by ring members. Gaza's health authorities say Palestinians have inspected the wreckage of a car in Deir al-Balah on Tuesday following an Israeli strike which killed several people. A statement issued by the Hamas-run government media office in Gaza said the car belongs to the police. A man at the scene said that displaced Palestinians sheltering nearby were also killed or injured in the strike. The bodies were later brought to the Al-Aqsa Matthias Hospital, where prayers were held. Israel's military offensive in Gaza Strip has killed at least 36,550 Palestinians and wounded 82,959 since October 7th, the Palestinian Enclave Health Ministry said on Tuesday. Israel says the offensive in Gaza is necessary to complete its aim of destroying the Hamas militants who precipitated the war by attacking Israel on October 7th, killing 1,200 people and capturing more than 250 hostages, according to Israeli tallies. Germany's Interior Minister Nancy Faeser says on Tuesday that Germany is ramping up security before the start of the European Championship on June 14th to head off potential threats from Islamists, hooligans, violent individuals, and cyber attacks. She says there are no concrete indications of a threat, but Germany is doing everything possible to make the event safe, adding that the terrorist organization Islamic State of Khorasan province was currently posing the greatest Islamist threat in Germany. Despite this, she said Germany was looking forward to the millions of people who wanted to celebrate the European Football Festival in Germany, which will start on June 14th in Munich, Germany. Fourth seed Alexander Zverev was relieved to escape into the quarterfinals of the French Open after a hard-fought 4-6, 6-1, 5-7, 7-6, 2-6-2 victory over Holger Rune, which ended early on Tuesday morning. The German will next face Australian 11th seed Alex de Minaur in the last 8. Norwegian 7th seed Casper Ruud defeated American Taylor Fried's 7-6, 3-6, 6-4, 6-2 to book a clash with defending champion Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals. Russian teenager Mira Andreeva continued her flawless form on the Parisian clay, seeing off Vavra Grasheva 7-5, 6-2 to set up a showdown with second Arina Sabalenka in the last 8. And that's the news this hour. I'm Charles Pius. Thanks for watching.